Okay, so it seems that we are live. Let me send a
Okay, so it
test
seems
message.
that we. Yeah, I think we're live. I got it on my phone, so.
Okay. Let's see if the chat shows up. Okay, chat works this time. All right. So there's 2 people watching the stream. That's you and me. So that means that we're the only ones here. But okay. I have Roman today on the call. And I basically want to go over Tmux. We're going to get to know Roman a little bit more. And if there's any other guest that wants to join, let me know. Because I want to test a 3 people stream. Yep, basically 3 people. So just let me know. But yeah, how's it going, Roman?
It's going really good. Thank you.
Yep. You mentioned today we had a test call that you are in the United States, right?
Yes. Yes.
And you're originally from
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria.
Yeah.
Okay. You're 1 hour behind me, right? It's 7 p.m. for you right now.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So let me first go over Tmux basically. Just want to give a quick explanation on Tmux sessions. Here is my terminal. Let me just turn on this light for my keyboard. Okay, so we have Emptyful there as well. You want to join the call, Emptyful?
Please do. We want to hear the pattern filter.
Yeah, and we want to discuss Tmux sessions as well.
Yes.
Let's see. Emptyful already has the links. So if you want to join Emptyful, let me know in the chat. Okay? Okay, can be long. Okay, it's fine. A few minutes is fine. All right, so Tmux sessions. What are they? Why do I use them? Why do I find them useful? Do they actually serve a purpose? Or they're just not useful at all? So how would everything work without Tmux sessions? If I jump to my home directory here, and let's say that I need to go to my notes, what would I have to do? I would have to come here, cd, which directory they are, and
I think typically library. Mine are in
user.
library, mobile documents. At least that's where I have them for iCloud, because I have mine shared with iCloud.
Oh, I have them in GitHub, right? So I would have to come here. I would have to go to GitHub. I would have to come to here, Obsidian main. Now I'm in the directory that I want to. I would open NeoVim here, and I would jump through my nodes, right? This is my
That's
Obsidian.
a lot of steps.
Yeah, basically it's a lot of steps, right? So let's say that then I'm done working in my nodes, or I'm still working in my nodes and I need to jump back to my dot files. What would I have to do without Tmux sessions? I could create a new window, right? So here I could come again to GitHub, and I could come here to my dot files latest directory. I could open NeoVim here, and I could go to whatever file I want to work on. That involved a lot of steps. let's say that I need to jump there to my blog post, right? I'm editing my blog post. What could I do in that case? I could create another window, like here, window number 3. I would have to navigate to my blog post. If I use a terminal tool like Sockside, I could jump there easily, like cd nfs, I think it is. Let's see, nfs. Let's see where it takes us. Yep, that's the directory. And no, that's not the one. I would have to go back and GitHub NFS. I think this is the one. Yeah, this is the one. And I would have to jump here. And this is my blog post. I could open it in Neovim. And I could go to my different posts here. I'm hearing an echo. Do you have a speaker somewhere, Rumen?
No, nothing on my end.
Oh, I think
He joined
empty
us.
phone joined. Hold on, empty phone. Give me a second. Hold on. I'll bring you over right now. Let's see.
That brought the echo.
To guest live stream. Okay. We have empty phone there. Let's see if we can hear you. I cannot hear you. Hold on.
I hear him just fine.
You can hear him?
Yes.
I'm not getting the audio here. Hold on. There. I hear you now. Yep. So, oh, I'm gonna fix your name. Hold on. Okay, the 3 of us are here. So, where is it? Guest 2. Hold on. Empty full. Let's see if it's fixed now. Yep, there it is. Okay, so I was just talking about how my life would be without Tmux sessions, right? I have 3 projects open here. This one, what is this one? This is my notes. There's an echo there somewhere.
It says it's coming.
But no.
Let's see, hold on. Yeah, I don't hear it anymore.
I think I know why. Okay. All right, I know why.
Hold on.
Is it
Yeah,
you're on screen sharing?
hold on.
No, what I was doing is I was moving. Okay, how about now? Is there an echo?
I don't hear any echo now. Nope.
No, I think
Can you
Okay.
talk, empty full?
Oh.
I can
No
hear
echo,
you.
echo.
Yeah, no echo, but I hear you a little bit low. Let's see.
You can't hear me anyway. Old colleague used to nickname me.
Mumbles. Which one do you prefer, Batman or Mumbles?
I don't mind.
Okay, let me
It's
increase
fine.
your gain.
That's fine. I could figure out what it actually is.
Okay. Again, I think I can hear you a little bit better there.
Yep. Cool.
Okay. So where were we? Okay. What is this? Okay, this is my dot files. You can see it here, dot files. And this is my notes, right? And this other one, no, this one, this is my blog post. So it took me a long time to jump to each one of those. Now let me just show you the way that I do it using Tmux sessions, right? I'm gonna go to my .files, just a single keymap. Basically, just type that, and I'm in my .files. You can see the name of the Tmux session here, right? Now, when I jump to my notes, another keymap, and I'm in my notes here, right? And now, I want to jump to my blog post, another keymap, and I'm in my blog post. If you noticed, if NeoVim is closed, it automatically opens it, right? So if I exit out of here, there's an echo again.
The echo is back.
Shouldn't be for me this time.
Well, it keeps flicking on your camera thing every time he's talking, like a second or two later. Camera thing
Maybe
is
your
flickering green, saying
phone,
the sounds.
Rumen, or something. The one that you're using to...
No, everything is off. Nope, I have it off. It's not even.
Oh, okay. Let's try it again. Let's see. So, oh, where was I? If I jump to this session, I'm just gonna exit out of this GitHub _io, which is my blog post. If I type exit here, that session is no longer there. But if I bring it up again, you're gonna notice this that is shown there. It opens NeoVim and it restored my session. It typed the letter S for me. So oh, hold on.
Because on the dashboard, and you've got persistence.nvim, you press S, it restores the session, right?
Yeah, no, I have that here. Let me show you. There's something filtering, feeding my voice back into the stream on your side, Rumen. I don't know
On my
what
side?
it is. Yep.
It says from the camera one specifically.
Yeah, camera one. Where do you see that? Empty phone. Oh, you're looking at it on the call that we have, right?
Yeah, on the.
Okay. I don't hear it right now. I don't hear it right now. Okay. So
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know if anything.
oh, let's see how it continues. How do I open that? If I go to my Tmux configuration file and I come to here, the Tmux sessionizer. I use Primeagen's Tmux sessionizer to jump to the repos that I use all the time, right? So here it is, Tmux sessionizer script. So I basically just call the script and pass an argument. So this is my .files. Call the script. Here's the argument. We have the echo again. And
Yeah, I think it's when I'm watching the stream. So hold on, let me.
oh, can you mute that stream that you're watching?
Just mute on YouTube.
Yep.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not watching on YouTube. I'm watching. I'm using the links that you gave me. That's where I'm watching it from. There's one particular stream, like right now, when I click that stream, that's the one that we talk from, and that's the one I've been watching. And
but do you got the screen sharing one as well?
Yeah, I've got the screen sharing one. Should I turn that one off?
That one should be muted. Like the sound, mute the speaker,
Yep.
but also mute your microphone.
Yeah, the
both.
two at the bottom.
And then, and if you have both of them, I mean, you can mute the mic on the other one when you're not talking, camera one, but it doesn't need to be muted. And if you have YouTube open, obviously it does need.
I don't hear it right now, I think. Yep, I don't hear it right now.
Yeah, because I mute the microphone, but it's interesting. We weren't hearing that earlier. It's kind of strange.
Yeah.
I can drop out and join back again.
I don't hear it right now. Nope, I don't hear it right now. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Okay, so I just pass an argument to that script, basically. I have another version if I don't pass an argument, like, where is it? Here. Just create a new session here. And notice that I'm not passing any argument. Something else happens. That's when this menu shows up, right? Or if I pass 2 arguments, I have some other conditions. But we're just going somewhere else here. I'm just talking about Tmux sessionizer. I'm not talking about Tmux sessions. So how do I open that? Hold on. Where is Tmux sessionizer? It's here.
Why haven't you switched to sesh?
I use sesh, but I just
separate to all this.
But I use it for something additional, right? Like I bring up sesh with just a single key. Look at this magic. Can you do this? You cannot. Let me show you something. Let me go to my browser here, and I'm just gonna type this key. You see my camera, the other one? Just one finger. Can you do that? No, that's magic. It was in the browser. Okay, so...
Right, but you still, like at some level, it's still running a shell script, right?
It is calling...
I think he's using
Better Touch
Tool, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
yeah.
Better Touch Tool, but it's somewhere in that Better Touch Tool is saying like, run this shell script and do this, this, and this, right?
Better Touch Tool is just saying, focus the terminal and execute
a keymap.
How do you run sesh?
Like, probably have a keymap in goes to Tmux. They have at the very least a Tmux keybind.
Let's see. I have it here.
Mine is a
Look at it.
prefix capital T.
Yeah, exactly. So there's probably one suggested in the README of sesh that it says, chuck this in your Tmux configuration. Be like,
oh yeah, capital T.
Capital
so
T.
That's what yep.
Well, Control B, wait 0.05
because that's the Tmux
seconds.
prefix.
Yeah, it's probably longer than you need, but yeah.
That's what she said. But yeah, so this focuses the terminal, Tmux prefix, and then sesh. But
yeah, but what are the non-sesh ones doing? They're the same thing, right? Like you've got a Tmux. You showed us all those Tmux keybinds that are using sessionizer.
Yep. These,
and then so you're doing the same thing. You're doing focus the terminal. You Control
exactly.
B, wait a tiny bit, and then run whatever the keybind is. That's fine. I get that. What is Tmux sessionizer doing for you though? Literally just if the session is there, connect to it. If it's not, start a new session.
Let me show you that.
In a particular directory, like how's that configured?
Let me just close this Better Touch.
And like specifically that other one that you showed us where it restores your NeoVim session.
Okay, yep.
Is that Better Touch Tool is just waiting a tiny bit again?
That is...
and then presses S? Or is
the
that
Tmux sessionizer? Let me show you right now. So here is the script for the Tmux sessionizer, right? Just gonna GX there, and open it in Neovite. And this is in my dot files, by the way. Is the one that Primeagen has, but I modified it a little bit. I pass it 1 argument or 0 arguments if I wanna search for the directories in these different directories. It's gonna show all of them. If I pass 2 arguments, it's going to show me an FCF menu for the path that I'm passing as a second argument. I did this for my work folder, right? I had a special keymap to open just my work related directories.
Yep.
And what you're talking about is here.
Yeah.
Here.
If near Vim.
Yep.
So check. Right, so restore the session if it exists, and if it had NeoVim running in the session, so if any of the Windows panes, right?
Yep.
If any of the panes are labeled NVim, which if you've got the setting where it renames your pane or window to whatever the currently command is, which I assume you do.
Yep.
If it's NVim, select that, and then just send the key. Right? Send the key S.
It sends this.
First
to open
start up
NeoVim.
NVim with that particular configuration.
Yeah. Control M is enter. And then I just send an S, which is my dashboard to restore a session. Which is basically this, right? It's just opening this, and here
it's doing that,
it's pressing S.
Yeah.
So,
brings it straight back.
Yep.
Yep.
But the way that I use sesh, or the way that I'm planning on using sesh, is for directories that I don't want to configure here. Like I have this, the Tmux sessionizer gives me this, but I have to manually add the directories, right? So if I want to go to my .config file, config directory, I can't, because it's not part of the configuration in, where is nearby? In here, right? I would have to come and add the directory there. But since sesh uses Zoxide, or however it's called, yep.
It uses Zoxide. It tells Tmux to check open, like existing sessions, so active sessions as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the bottom purple ones are active sessions.
Yeah.
Folders, the folders at the top of the list are Zoxide entries.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be sorted by like most recent, I believe.
Yep.
Like it gets the Zoxide ranking thing, right?
Yep.
And then the middle ones are pre-configured sessions. So so
those are
that'd
the
be
ones
a nice
that I
thing.
configured.
Like if you wanted to configure anything specific, and the other advantage of those is you can tell it to run a command whenever you in that session as well, if it's not already. So, and there should be deduping as well. So if you've configured one, I don't know how it's linked, but it will do a little bit of deduping. I think it's if it's the same directory as one of the other ones, like active. Looks like it won't show all needed.
Yeah,
but anyway, so I think it prefers the configured ones because they're like you can rename them, you can give it a startup command, whatever. So I mean, I can show it later, but like I have downloads pre-configured, so it'll open Yazi. Whenever I go to downloads, I'll open Yazi. So
I want to see that. Hold on. But
yeah, anyway, my point is that you keep adding all this stuff like Tmux sessionizer and then this path and then Tmux sessionizer and then this path. You have to find another keymap to do it. You can still keep the keymap thing, but it could just be sesh connect name. And I think sesh it'll look first through your configured ones. So anything in your I think it's like .config/sesh/sesh.toml. But you can pre-configure those ones there. It'll prefer those. Otherwise, it'll check active Tmux sessions and Zoxide results. So you should be able to, and because Zoxide is already doing all the heavy lifting of like fuzzy finding based on what you type in. But you could just write a string of like a folder called this that I access regularly by Zoxide. Like if I change that directory, it should uprank the that result Zoxide. So theoretically, you can just put .files latest or something as a string, and it would push that Zoxide.
But you would mean to jump to my .files into my notes, for example, right?
Yeah, but the same thing. Like right now, using Tmux sessionizer to do it, but you could use sesh. And then if you wanted specific, you could also you could set a default command. So Josh, I know, does a thing where if he hasn't configured a session in the sesh toml, he says anything else. If I change to that directory, fire up NeoVim and run my. He's got to like use a command of like go to file, but it's just a file picker telescope, right? So he says do this, like run NeoVim and run this command, and that's his default if he hasn't changed anything. That's what he always wants to do, just like NeoVim, straight away get the file picker and then go to the file that he'll type in and go to the file that he wants to edit. But you could have still a shell script that just does that check of like, use the Tmux commands. Is there NeoVim? If so, switch to that and then, restore the session.
Okay, but
which you should be able to do with, like, if you added a custom command the same as he did, you can say run NeoVim with this custom command that would just restore the session immediately.
But hold
you
on.
don't have to wait even. Sorry.
How could I go from here? Right? You're saying that instead of doing it here.
So instead of run shell sessionizer, it would be like sesh connect, and you should be able to just do sesh connect.files latest. You wouldn't have to even do the full path. You could do the full path, but I don't think you would even need to do that.
Okay, so you just do sesh connect here, yep. Right? Basically replace sesh connect in the path. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, you could even, where you're at now, you could even potentially just reassign the variable, like comment out the Tmux sessionizer. So instead of redoing all this, just leave it there and just update at the top what that actual, just where you've got Tmux sessionizer up the top where you actually declare that variable, just change that to say sesh connect instead of the shell script that it.
Oh, but I commented this. How do I type the sesh connect command?
Yep, that's
like that. And then you want to type in the name of the actual session, to my knowledge.
It will work with the path though.
Oh, it will work. Okay.
Because that's how Zoxide will return results, right? Like it'll be a path.
Okay, let's see. Okay, it went to my dot files. To make sure that it's working, let's try something else. I'm going to go to this script, right? Just gonna reload my Tmux config. Nope.
If you want, I can show you how I have mine multiple setup done.
Is it
with multiple commands?
Sesh space connect, or is it one command?
That should be.
Should be, yeah. Sesh space connect.
Yes, I reload it. Control U. Okay, yeah, it worked. Hold on. Yep, it is working. So I can.
So you could, but you could also, like the way you've got it right now, you're going to a shell script which runs the Tmux sessionizer stuff, right? So you could do the same thing. You could put sesh connect in there, but also I think doing the default command thing in just the sesh configuration would also maybe do the same thing for you. I just don't know how it would work with an active Tmux session that already exists. And I guess if it's active, then you've already got everything there, right? So, like, it's already still running Vim. You don't have to do anything. Install that if it's an active session. But yeah, if it's default, so if you set a default command for sesh, then if it's not a configured session that says use this startup command, then by default it'll be the other thing. Your other thing could just be NeoVim with a user command in NeoVim that just restores the session. That's what you always want to do.
Yep.
If nothing is configured specifically.
Okay. I think this works fine, right? Because my workflow is not gonna change too much. The only thing that I would need to do would be to modify this Tmux sessionizer, change it with sesh connect. And basically my workflow would keep working the same. We hear the echo again, Rumen. But yeah, let's see. Yep, it seems to work just fine. So I can get rid of the Tmux sessionizer, I think, and just keep sesh and still use sesh to navigate the directories that I don't use too much, like this .config, for example. I never come here, right? But with sesh, I can easily get to that directory. But
yeah, and then I think the other advantage is you can have, if you want to configure certain sessions, sesh to do things like, if I go to this one, I always want to specifically edit this file. Like, I know Josh does this where he'll have a session that's just called like Tmux, and that's his Tmux config. So it just goes to the directory and then launches NeoVim to directly edit that file, because he doesn't want to open it up in that directory and then open up NeoVim and then find the file using the
I think I have it. This is the one that you're talking about,
exactly,
right?
Yeah, exactly. So you got this. So those ones are even easier. If you've already got a keymap, just change those to sesh connect tmux config. So you can do it by name.
What do you mean?
Yeah. So are those 4 configured sessions there, or 5 configured sessions there,
Yep.
do they have a keymap?
No. I just navigate to these sometimes, but no, I don't have a...
So you usually just open sesh and then start typing.
Yep. Open sesh, type, and go there. Yep.
Yeah, okay. That's fine.
Yep.
But you could, that's what I'm saying, is you could move some of those Tmux sessionizer ones in here if you wanted, and then the command, because you would have that startup command, for instance.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I can add that command here.
Yep. So the startup command can be open this particular file, or it could just be open NeoVim with whatever the command is. So if persistence has like persistence restore or something like that as a command that you can use, you can tell NeoVim to run that command when it opens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you would kind of skip the weird sort of type in NeoVim app name, wait a little bit, then press the S key. Like you could kind of skip that step a little bit and actually programmatically do it by running.
Okay. Who wants to share their screen? Can you share your screen right now, Rumen, or no?
Yeah, mine is, I can share it. I think I've got the right stream. If you want to go try to switch over.
Okay, let's see.
Maybe that's why I was breaking, because may have not been sharing correctly. I can try to open the link again.
Yep, you can refresh that.
Yeah, maybe that's why I was breaking, because something odd was happening.
Can you share or you're not in hours to share empty full?
Sorry?
Are you able to share your screen, or you're not able to do it?
Yeah, I can share. I moved all my work stuff away, hopefully this time.
Okay, we can see your screen now, Roman.
Yeah, so this is how I have my session. This is how I have, for instance, this is for my notes. And I'm actually opening multiple, I'm actually opening 2 windows. So if I did this, I'll actually do 2 windows, one in which is I can start scratching a new note, or I can search a live grep through others. In this case, actually, I'm searching for files. But if I was to just go and switch it, I can go to here, and let's say instead of find files, I can change this to live grep. This. And so next time, so this, and then if I want, I should probably kill it here and open it again from the beginning. Can you see how it launches everything? It actually renames it on the bottom, so I like that. I like the windows to be renamed. I told you that I use quite a bit of the windows, and I actually switch between the windows. But yeah.
Okay, can you show that part again?
So here's so here you have on the bottom you have the the live session, and then on top you have the pre-configured, and the pre-configured will execute all of these things right here. Oops. will execute all of these things one after the other. And you can see them all in action when I call it.
Yeah, let's see it.
Let me just close this one.
Yeah, so I think I mentioned before, but Sesh has a thing you can dedupe.
We cannot hear you, empty phone.
Oh, really?
Yep, we can hear you there. Sesh has a thing.
Hear me now?
Yep.
Sorry. Sesh has a thing where you can dedupe so that you wouldn't see like the active session and the configured one together.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember what it is, but if you don't want to see both the active session and the configured one in the list, and have to like look at the icon and which one which to tell it.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, I need to play around with this because, I mean, most of the time I it's only when I'm messing around with the configuration is where I actually want to go into a pre-configured one to test it. So, for instance, if I change this now to find files, which does not work for the way of searching notes, so I'll actually have to kill this one so that I can call it again and actually can execute the things. So it renames the windows, so I know that my first window is my scratch pad and all my other notes are actually here. I don't have a good system of actually doing notes, and so I find that as long as I can find a keyword into the notes, I can probably navigate myself. I'm still developing my note system, but it's something that you guys shared is you have a search function that finds tasks in your notes that are not completed, and I like that part. I think I need to implement it because right now I see one update the plugin that was reported, and I see that one is uncompleted. So it would be really, really good for me to be able to quickly search. Maybe have one that shows me the unfinished tasks. So I use Windows a lot. So I don't know if that's the right way to do it. I'm trying to teach myself to go and actually switch sessions a lot more, but I don't normally work with more than a few sessions at a time.
Yeah.
So
I work with 3, 4, 5 sessions, maximum at a time. But the main goal or the main thing for me is to jump to them with a single key. That's it, right? So I want to go to my .files. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to type stuff. I don't want to press more than 2, keys consecutively. No. One keymap, I want to get there. And I don't even have to think about it, right? If I want to go to my block, I don't want to think about it either. So that's the main thing.
Well, I can do it. Right now I have them configured pretty much like that. I can jump with confidence quite fast through them. As you can see, it's just literally, it's 3 presses. It's basically my leader and then N. So this is my NeoVim core beginning, and then leader P, and I'm in my plugins. Leader D, I'm in my development or like my projects, and then leader C, and I am in my .files.
And those are sessions?
Yeah, those are all sessions. You can actually see them. They're actually live right here. So these are all sessions. And if you take a peek here in my Tmux
and you do that
that's where they are.
Leader D takes you to one session, leader P to another one, for example, right?
Yep, right here. I do hold control because part of my leader is obviously control B, so I'm already, or mine is control space. Sorry, mine is control space.
Okay.
And then control N, control space, control E, control space, control D.
Tmux.
Yeah. So Tmux prefix, and then N for NeoVim, P for plugins, D for oops, actually took me out. I can go to D for my project files.
That control well, I changed mine to hyper F, right? So the Tmux prefix for me is hyper F, because if you look at my screen, it's this thumb, this one, and the F, which is here. So I don't have to move, right? So it's just really fast for me to press the prefix. But even like that, I was doing it like that, you know, prefix and then control something to jump somewhere. But it takes time. It's an additional keymap that you have to execute, right? So I just wanted to have like a single one, and not only from the terminal, right? Because a lot of different times I'm in YouTube, right? Or I'm in the browser and I'm like, okay, I want to go to my dot files, and I don't have to go to the terminal first and then press the keymap there to go to my dot files, right? So I don't know, I think that works for me.
Do you ever forget your keymaps?
No. Well, the ones that I don't use the most, I do forget them all the time, right? But I have another session. If I type hyper TE, it's gonna bring this session up, and I could do this with sesh, I know now. But for example, this is to navigate to my different applications. I don't remember these. I have to regularly come to this file and remember some of them. I already know most of them, but there's a few that I don't.
Have you thought about making a plugin?
Yeah, I was gonna say you gotta build a plugin.
A plugin for what?
I would go with Ray. I mean, it's probably closer to Raycast.
Oh,
because Raycast, you can just say like, on my extension, just a bunch.
Hold on, MTFull. Give me a second. Can you hear me, MTFull?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, I can hear.
There.
I can hear.
You were saying?
Yeah, so you could make a Raycast extension just for you, even, but have it just, you give it a list of things, and it would just come from like a JSON source or something. But you could just have a list of things and then say, I want to be able to search across those, and when I hit enter, it's going to do whatever, like either it copies it or shows it on screen. Show me. Really large.
It's easier.
Well, I don't have anything in right now, and the only extensions that I've written are for my work, so I probably won't go into that. But
okay, but you wrote the Raycast extensions?
Yeah, so it uses React, so it's kind of web devy sort of stuff. But you could probably figure it out pretty easily. Like there'll be components in there, and it'll say like, use this if you want to show a list of things or a grid format, and then like where you add a list of actions, and you can say like, here are the actions that are available. Like if they hit just enter, then copy it to the clipboard. If they hit shift enter, then paste it directly into whatever app is active at the moment.
But that means that I would have to bring up Raycast first.
Well, because you could just do that directly with the keymap as well. So it's similar to like, you know how in,
like the deep link.
Yeah, well, yeah, but otherwise you could just map something directly in Raycast. You could just have a global keymap that just does a particular Raycast thing.
But
so
I cannot use.
You could have one because you have one in NeoVim where you, whichever. No, but then you would do better touch tool, and you could then do deep link in Raycast to do the same thing because you do that already anyway, right? But so the same way you have a thing in NeoVim to search keymaps and just tell you what they are, right? If you forget a keymap in NeoVim, you search them. So you could have something similar. You could potentially even, because you're already scripting it anyway, I wonder if you could just have it search my global keymaps that I have in Better Touch Tool or whatever, Carabiner, and then if I select one, just like execute it as if I had typed that potentially.
Okay, but you mean something to visualize my keymaps, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Rather than going into
the file,
some particular configuration and then searching through that. Yeah.
Yep.
Just have something that would just get a list of them show you the list. And then ideally, even better would be for you, like either you just show it on screen, like you have a list and you find it and then you go, oh, that's the key map. Cool. Now I know. But even better would be if you could just have it. I don't need to remember it because it'll show me the list of things and then I just hit enter and it will do it for me. Because I think that's usually, I think, how the ones in, like your keymap one in NeoVim does that, right? Like it'll execute the keymap if you pick it. Right.
Someone did it in Discord. We hear the echo again, Roman. They did it.
Sorry, I've got
in a markdown.
But
yeah.
But anyway, you got some ideas.
Yep.
Thanks for having me again.
But thanks, Mtiful. Have a good day.
See ya.
Right. So I was saying. Yeah, you said. Yeah. Yep.
It's interesting that when he came, the echo kind of popped up. I wasn't hearing earlier. I'm trying to use a different browser, especially Chrome on the side. So basically both of the windows stay there. So I'm not using my Brave browser for actually doing anything with the link, but I wonder where, I think Google Chrome is doing something funny underneath the hood. I'm not really sure. Or maybe I just need to restart my computer. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but a lot of crazy stuff happens all the time. It has happened to me that I have like window that I don't have muted and it's feeding. It's complicated doing these.
So the idea with the raycast is great because, I mean, Sesh already has a plugin there. So you essentially could call, if you use a lot of raycast, I do quite a bit. So I actually would probably like to just jump from raycast since that's my sort of like a window manager, app manager. All my shortcuts that I have on my keyboard, I actually call the app through raycast. So that's how I get it going. So that would work for me. But what I was thinking is a plugin would be really nice to sort of have a almost like a witch key, but for like your config for your plugins. So to detect a sort of like, hey, I'm starting to press this combination, and you know that it's somewhere there, but you just don't remember which exactly key it was. Because sometimes I don't remember what I've done. I started making a couple plugins, and I forgot if it was leader C or it was leader CC. And so when I press the leader, I see the witch key, and I'm like, oh yeah, it was right there.
But are you talking about the carabiner key maps, the ones that I'm showing right now, or my NeoVim key maps?
All of your key maps.
Yeah, it would be useful to have something like what you're mentioning for my carabiner key maps, because I forget about some of these sometimes, right? Like I have some raycast ones. Sometimes I like, how did I open that? Well, no, I already know this one for sure. I use this one a lot, right? I use this one a lot as well for my browsers. There's a few of them that I use a lot. But in NeoVim, I don't know if you already watched this or not, but I have Alt-K, and it allows me to search for a key map, right? If I type this single quote and I search for GitHub, and I don't remember how to create a GitHub repo, what key map that is, space G, capital C, right? So
is that a snack speaker?
Yep, that is. Okay. Where is it? Snacks.lua. This one. It's in my configuration. Alt-K, right? So snack speaker key maps. That's it, right? I use that one all the time. I use it way more than witch key, actually.
Yeah, because you can actually search the keywords into the actual description or into the actual command versus just the key press.
Trying to remember.
I saw that one and I really liked it, but the one that I really found very useful for me is, like I said, I don't have a strategy for notes. I'm not that organized when it comes to the notes, and I actually as long as I know that I have sort of like a black hole where all the nodes go, and I can quickly pull a picker, either a Snax or telescope, and I can quickly search something, because I know what is roughly is about the node in the node. But for instance, I'll find it useful to be able to sort of filter unfinished tasks and finished tasks. Have you heard of Task Warrior?
No, I haven't.
So Task Warrior is a CLI tool for basically managing tasks. It has even like a kind of like a terminal GUI, if you want to call it, or TUI, where it actually gives you a layout, and you can see all of your tasks. But basically with commands, and I'm sure with shortcuts, you can pretty much go and add something in the future, something, let's say you can say, oh, I'm starting to work on this, or I'm working on this task that is a part of a group of tasks. So it works for small stuff like, hey, I need to pick up, let's say, something when I go to the grocery store, right? And it's just maybe something that urgent and it shows up, or it could be like, hey, I'm working on 3-4 things, like to do things maybe from a project. And you can say, oh, okay, when I finish those, you can see sort of like the progress of the project in the CLI. I tried to implement it. I found it interesting, but not that organized, frankly. And so I found that for me, all of these extra things that I set up were more of a barrier. Including I even, I don't know if you're still showing the screen, but I made a, here, I'm gonna pop in. I did a, was it, see, that's the thing. Oftentimes I forget what it was called.
Yep.
I know it's somewhere here. It's in my plugins. Actually, let's try it in the core. And I think it was tasks. No, so I did one terminal search, but it was tickets. So I made my own plugin, which is basically entirely for tickets. And so this entire plugin, and it has a lot of AI dump into it, but the way it works is that you would actually press T, and so this will fire up a node. So if I say space T and see how on the bottom I see my reminders of what I need, and so I can create a new ticket, and I can say, oh, you know what, I need to troubleshoot website plugin, right? So that's the ticket, and it's supposed to create this layout, right, where I can go and quickly say, oh, you know what, this is actually Rumen is requesting it. It's high priority. We can even say, website. We can allow, in this case, my completion tool to actually, and we'll say, you know what, need to troubleshoot website plugin. Now, the cool thing is that the idea behind this ticketing system that I thought about is capturing updates, because oftentimes I will do tasks, but I will find it very time consuming to jump into something and to actually write the description. So I thought that if I have a sort of like a keymap, so in this case is leader TU, and I can say a new update, right now I'm, let's say, discovering the issue with the plugin, right? And well, let's see if it's supposed to be. Say new, something not working on the updating system. But yeah, the idea is that actually will give me T browse all tasks. And see, when I don't use it for a little bit, I'm like, oh, can't remember which one it was. So in this case, I need browse, create new tasks, create subtasks to the ticket. So if I do S, I could say new task, Yep, something's broken in my thing. But yeah, the idea is that the plugin is, oh, maybe it's not loading completely. I did change something in my configuration earlier. But the idea is with the key maps, I can actually get a new task in here. I can get an update that actually does time formatting, so actually stack up in a way that they happened in time frame. And then on the bottom you can add something. But even this, as I designed it, it was working really good. But then I oftentimes just found myself just going here and literally just typing 10, and then I can just scratch notes, new note, right? And I will just close it, and then I can just do 10s, and then I can search all of them. So if I do something with Vim improvements, then I can see them on the site, open the one that I need, and it'll tell me, hey, this is what I can do with that, or this is what I can do with this. Plus the note is actually, the name of the note is the date. So it always sorts it by date. So I can see, oh, this is what needs to be done. So yeah, I found that to be less resistive than following some structure, because I can always pop a new window, open the tins in this case, and for instance we have
what is tins? It's just notes. What do you call them? Tins?
Terminal inputted notes.
What?
Yeah.
Terminal?
Tins, TIN, terminal inputted notes.
Okay.
Because I input them from the terminal, so I just found it as like, like a tin can.
Okay.
So I was just trying to be smart, like GUI or like a TUI. So terminal inputted notes. And so, for instance, I can. This is just a map that I was doing for a network, and I can come and do my edits here, and then I can just pop another window if I want. This is
and
right
did
now
you
what
follow
you're
through
is me,
with your method? Did you continue to use it?
Yes.
Or
this I use. The previous one I don't. So
okay,
I created
the previous one, which is the plugin, the tickets.
Yes, the tickets.
Yep, that happens to me a lot too. Now, I have implemented a lot of stuff, and to be honest, what I really use, from all the stuff that I have implemented, I use my daily note, like to share the links that I shared with you with empty full, and if there's a third guest, I do it always in my daily note, right? So this is today's date, so I just need something temporary to write stuff. Yesterday I had other links and stuff like that, but I use this. Yep, the other one that I created that you mentioned, leader T. Okay, the tasks that are not completed, I don't use these too much
very often.
No. I use them here in the Skitty Notes app on the right. This is the one that I use the most. I just found that I needed something small and readily available, and this one is there all the time. So if I need to jump to a different file, like my to-do, right, I jump there. I never follow these, right? To do today, man, this is old stuff there. But yeah, I don't no.
Yeah, I developed my own little iOS app that I call the Secret Manager, because I was so annoyed with typing passwords, or the way the password manager even the password manager has a restriction in a little bit, and sometimes it's a bit like, oh, you gotta search it. And so oftentimes when I'm working on a project, I would just pull the Secret Manager, which I've made it to be sticky, so it always stays on the top. But right now I forgot to exclude it from nearby, and so it always stretches it to the full screen. So I haven't got around to fix it. But essentially, it's like a little tiny window, just like yours, and it has a few buttons. One is to add the secret, which contains of just name, and a value. And the second is to delete the secret. So when you're done using the secret. And the third is to borrow the secret to use it. And I put a timer on it. So basically it has 10 seconds in which it stays into your clipboard. After that, it clears off your clipboard. Now, the other cool thing is because I use the fingerprint on my laptop quite often, I set it up that the only way to retrieve the secret or to be able to pick it up from there is with the fingerprint. You cannot type a password. So sometimes when my fingers are a little greasy or something and the fingerprint doesn't work, I cannot get the secrets. But it is something that it started as an idea. It works really great, but I need to improve on that. I was thinking that maybe add some search functionality or maybe some Vin motions to be able to retrieve stuff as the list gets bigger. But again, I found it that I don't know if I can actually. Let me see if I. By the way, if you notice me struggling with key presses, that's usually because some of the layers are new to me, and so I'm still struggling with the timing. I'm trying to adjust it. I have some fingers which I'm really fast at triggering the hold function and the press function, and some other ones that I'm a bit slow, and so oftentimes I'll miss an entire sequence of keys because I pressed it too fast or pressed it too slow. But let's see if it's gonna on which side it's gonna show.
That's because of the Voyager that you got, right?
Yep. Yeah, so there's a little secret manager. That's what I call it. It's like a little sticky notepad, and it just has it right here. So at any given time, I could just click the copy button. It will only work to retrieve the secret. The only way it works is to use a fingerprint. You cannot, and this is actually tied up with the keychain of the actual Mac OS. And you can search for them in case the list gets really big. I found that to be more useful than my password manager.
Why? Because it's oftentimes just faster to get them?
There. It's sticky. Yeah, it's a lot faster. And frankly, it usually has the ones that I need the most. So as a matter of fact, it even has my password has my one password for one of my password managers. So I can just come in here, copy it from here, and enter it there. That way I don't have to type it because it's very long. It's like 30 something characters. It's entire sentence. So I don't have to remember it. I just come here with my fingerprint, I grab it from here, and I can paste it anywhere I want to fire up. And nobody can get access to this because it's literally pulling the values in my password in my keychain. Okay. And there's no way for you to actually edit it. So once you've entered something, I don't want to let it go. I'm actually holding it with the mouse because I think Yabai is going to try to stretch it. Oh, it didn't. But yeah, so you can't edit any of the any of the names. Basically, the only way you add one is when you're coming here. You say a secret name and a secret, and once you add it, that's it. You cannot view the value. Can't retrieve it. You can grab it and copy it, but this only happens if, let's say, since this one is not that critical, I actually have to do this. And you can see it actually says password copy to clipboard. And if we wait 10 seconds, it clears itself automatically.
Okay.
Cleared. And so now I can paste it, But if I want to use it again, I just put that usually on the other monitor. And whenever I need to grab something, I have been thinking about maybe adding a lock because a couple of times I actually pressed the red button versus this one, so I deleted the entire secret. So this was just more of the idea of essentially implementing something like a notepad, like the one that you have, because I like it that it's small and it's sticky. It always stays on the front. You can, plus with Yabai, you can actually tell it like, always go in the corner or always go like here and stay out of the way, so to speak. So I find that to be like some of the apps that I've made for myself are a bit complicated because they started with like a very simple idea and I just kept adding and adding and adding. And some other ones like this little thing have been very useful throughout time just because it's like it has 3-4 functions. I always know that I can always search for it. I can pop the secret manager, and if I've ever added more of those values, I can always search with them, find them really quickly. So if I want, it'll actually isolate them and find them. which it's just so simple. It doesn't have much. And this can be essentially turned into a notepad or a note, kind of like the kitty terminal that you have right now. I think this could be something like that. Where you can implement Vim motions and, you know, even some themes and all that, because this is just a Mac OS Swift app. That's all it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
Yep.
I have to go to bed. I have to wake up early.
So it'll be really nice one of these days if you want to get some people and maybe actually maybe try to implement a plugin or come up with something like, hey, what will be like a really useful addition to a plugin, or just like a random plugin that somebody might find useful. Because one of the things is there's a lot of tutorials. Unlike yours are very detailed and kind of like different. Like you provide different expertise, but a lot of the tutorials that I see are kind of like a walkthrough. It's like, oh, set this up. It's great, but people like me that don't have that extensive experience with configs look at it, and oftentimes I'll copy it, I'll try it out, it wouldn't work, or it will work but I don't know how to use it, and I just throw it away. But if more people learn how to sort of implement things from scratch, similar to the way, let's say, TJ did the advent of NeoVim, where literally he started from scratch and walks you through how he would do it. I think it would be really awesome if you did something like this with other people, where it's like, hey, let's implement something from scratch. I think actually the Primogen did something today where it was the new Copilot LSP. And he tried to implement it himself. And I found that to be very entertaining, because I can watch him trying to implement something from scratch, and it's very educational. I can see how he combats some of the struggles, because he was reading through the documentation.
The Blink documentation, right?
Yeah. Yep. And he was struggling too. Like he was, I mean, not that struggling, but he had to go through the same hurdles that I would have to go. But I can watch him do it first, and I'm like, oh, now I have confidence. Now I can actually do it, because I saw somebody that's done it for so many years how they do it. And so I think you provide similar kind of guidance in a way, because you're very thorough with your content, and very, very detailed.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So you want to see like the parts in which I struggle and how I get past that, right?
Yep. And you can take someone like me that doesn't have understanding of the configuration or doesn't have the experience, and sort of help them like go through their setup and be like, okay, what do you actually need? Because what I discovered for myself is that oftentimes I will implement somebody else's setup or even something on my own, and I wouldn't actually use it. And you said it yourself. You have made a lot of implementations, and in the end, you came down to understanding what you actually need and what you actually use.
Yeah.
And there's few that you use absolutely every day, and there's some that you have to search for them. So yeah, I think that's what most NeoVim users need to sort of cross a barrier. And once they cross that barrier, then after that, it's like a certain confidence level, and then they're forever sold on the NeoVim. Like there's just no going back after that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Once you start using NeoVim, and once you get the hang of it, man, you cannot go back to something else. But the first few months are pretty difficult. If you stick to it, you know. Did you almost give up at the beginning?
No, because I didn't. My path with software in general, it was never I sit down and I just go through. I always sit down for a little bit, then I jump on something else, then I jump on something else. Like today, I was developing a kind of like a little app that I work on. And then I'm troubleshooting a server. And then I'm working on a plugin for a website. So I do many different things because I do software and network and security and web development at the same time. I wear many hats. And so I never spend enough time to sort of drill in and to really, I don't know, I guess, to explore enough or to even face a barrier deep enough. I jump through too many places, and so that's why I have to stay nimble. I can't have one setup that works every single time. I'm still developing mine. But no, I didn't. I was always looking up to people like the Primogen, and I started watching your content as well. I said for the same reason as it's very like stay on track and shows you that if you stay consistent and you figure out what you want, then and it really pays off. What did he say the most is know the tools that you use the best, right? So know them really good so that you can be efficient, right? And so I think NeoVim gives you that flexibility of kind of creating your own playground and figuring out what you want. And once sort of like the dust settles of like you playing around, then you have like a nice castle and you're like, okay, this is my castle. I built it now.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
But
ideas.
I think that you have great thing going, especially with your content. And I think that if you did something with, because you've been bringing a lot of people that are in the area, they're either supporters or they're plugin developers or people that are professionals. And I think bringing that community together and allowing people like me who don't have that experience, have not done it for a while, and sort of like are still in the dust playing around, right? Figuring things out, to sort of understand it a little bit better or go through the process a little bit easier, then there will be a lot more people that will join.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm also curious to see what you're gonna do with everything, because the new form of content, I really like it. I definitely like this conversational kind of
the interviews,
going through your setups, learning something. Yeah, exactly, because I get to see how somebody else uses it in their daily life,
and you learn a lot from
like,
those.
Oh, I really like this, and it's like, oh, that's even possible? Like, wow, okay, let's do it. Let's try it out. It's amazing. So
yeah, I have one scheduled for tomorrow. Well, I have to record one interview, we could call those that way, tomorrow. That's gonna be really good. It's related to org mode, LaTeX. I don't know why people use LaTeX or LaTeX, however it's pronounced. People that write books,
I've heard of it,
use it a lot. Yeah, book writers use LaTeX, and I want to know why and how they do it. You know, book publishers. That's the thing. Yeah, that's what they use. And people that do a lot of technical writing, they use LaTeX. So I'll have a guest tomorrow. We'll go over all of that, and I have a live with Shaston. You know Shaston?
No.
It's he does Linux stuff.
Oh, I saw the reminder. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a part 2, right?
Yep.
I'm excited for that.
Yep. So I have a call with him tomorrow as well. But yeah, the LaTeX or LaTeX one is gonna be pretty interesting if you like writing stuff. But yeah, we'll see.
Well, great. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate you letting me join on this. You're definitely getting me excited to finally start exploring the streaming, I guess. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's tough. Just you have to be consistent and don't expect too much, I would guess. I have put a lot of effort and I still see no rewards yet. Hopefully someday, you know, but it's a lot of work. And
I can see that. I can see it in the quality of your content. I see that it's that you're following sort of like a template that you've designed, and you're changing it occasionally, but you have a system, you have a template, and it's important. And so that's kind of what stood out, is when you look at all of your videos, all of your tutorials, they have a very consistent layout, and I think that drew me into just even clicking on it. And I'm surprised that it didn't pop up on my feed earlier, because I'm constantly exploring for these kind of videos, and it was just randomly, and it said Raycast and macOS and Terminal and Ghosty, and I was like, what? How come I haven't seen that channel?
when did you find it?
Everything that I use. Recently, just recently, when I joined your Discord, that's when I found it, basically. So a few weeks, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks, not even.
Did you go into the rabbit hole? Because when people find my channel, they have to spend a few days going through the videos, and they comment in a lot of them, and they yeah, they go through a lot of rabbit holes.
I did, because the way you've done them is sort of like in every video you show your Raycast with searching your other videos. I didn't even know that you can search YouTube videos in Raycast to begin with. That's another thing that I liked. But you essentially, in Raycast, you're showing the other videos. So you're like, oh, and if you want to learn about that, watch this video. So I'm like, oh, I want to jump and watch this video. And so there's a lot of things that I sort of watched kind of like off the computer, and just like, oh, I want to see what you have, and then go back to them and be like, oh, I really like that task search or the keymap search. And so those are things that I'm going to borrow essentially from your dot files. But I can't just copy them. I actually have to read through them and understand how they're I guess adjusted for your layout, because you have the hyper
it's crazy
key.
Yep.
And so you're very optimized with the key presses. I'm not there yet. I'm still learning.
Okay, wonderful. But yeah, glad that you like the content. I'll keep creating content, you know, stuff that I learn, keep sharing it. I like these interviews because I learn a lot, you know, and yeah, I'll keep creating both of them. And that's good feedback, you know, just let me know
Totally
what you think and all that. So thanks for joining, Roman. Really appreciate it.
problem.
We'll see you tomorrow. Let's see if you join the live with Chasten. And yep.
Okay, perfect. All right, have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.